Player people ngidi kasur Jong Paipa. Hakanik episode in Batayapi Shapang Bill Gates but ka company Jong Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Bill Gates uday win ki American businessman lani unong le business lani unong kai ubalaka kari America. Bill Gates ulong win ki nong shna software but nila tiblu yo bo uday try Jong Microsoft Corporation. Hakini kisnem bladam Bill Gates ulada maham lupa yakiri ka pratai barokaway Bayakin ang sansyar jong kiri ka pratai barokaway Bakan sa wan ka klam jingpang hakani ka pratai ka jongi Badula ong ru yakin ang sansyar jong kiri Bagi di banong kibala kre lupa Bat ka pratai ka don kami udaway Lani yu tau vaccine Banyale persya yakani ka klam jingpang ka pansawan Pit yakani ka video Bapin yu ibo Bill Gates ukaren na yu Hakini kisnam balalit.
Today, the greatest risk of global catastrophe doesn't look like this. Instead, it looks like this. If anything kills over 10 million people in the next few decades, it's most likely to be a highly infectious virus rather than a war. We're not ready for the next epidemic. The impact of a huge epidemic, like a flu epidemic, would be phenomenal because all the supply chains would break down, there'd be a lot of panic, many of our systems would be overloaded, and so we all hope that doesn't come along. But being ready for epidemics of different sizes, there's a lot more we should do. But a universal flu vaccine, I think, would be brilliant because it would reduce pandemic risk. I also think the human health benefit would be larger, particularly in developing countries, than we'd expect.
Bill Gates, Bon, Benvino, Yakitaki Dawai vaccine, Kanang Bakibrio Kibayo Yakaniga Jimpang, Kinquadna. Prime Minister Jongari Jamiru, Ulaya Krenbu Bill Gates, Lengba, ka video conference. Prime Minister Jungi, Ulaya Royo Bill Gates, Badyaka Melena Foundation ka Jungu. Nakabantaka kam ka mamakikile, namantaka kwad ka kya, Jongki Benrio, Satla ka Persay. Baru Prime Minister ulaong Bodi Bill Gates uban batay yakiri brok wika pertay bakin im kumno. Bat kiri ka bakidiban le, dalakot unyo kanyang jimpang. Baru laong ruyo Bill Gates, Bodi ban pilkloy, mansnano yu vaccine kanang ban pilkot ikibryo. Mentang peni yapi, yakawi ka video jangu Dr. Rashid. Yapi ki bang tip si pangu Dr. Rashid, pilaban pedi ki videos jangu, yakita ki link ilabo apo ka description ka jangu yang niyapo. Dr. Rashid ulong uwi na ki conspiracy theorist kumbalang David Icke. Buon na pipila na penye ka tuka episode ka bangi plad. Haka bangi penye yaki JINGKREN jangu David Icke. Bangi iba buon na pipikali basta ika ja ka tuka video jangu David Icke. Mismo si iba nang shapi baya ka videos badi yaki videos baro jangu David Icke ka YouTube kalada ban bad kalada bueng lo dia ka. Imat na marbo kren nika jing shisha bad kini ki priyo siya landan kim kwa baga jingshisha kan pui siya ka score jungi baro. Tishwa baki videos jong Dr. Rashid ukin siya weng. Ikwa ban pani yapiya yakani ka video. Hakani ka video u Dr. Rashid u yathoba ukan do yawi u doktor. Baduni u doktor u batay u. Bakila don kita ki patents nakabanta uni u kanyang jimpang. Ki patents kiri ki kansa license. Ki bala ay ka sarkar. Hakan u ka company kanang bakan dubla. Bansna ikita kitar ki jongka. Video, Dr. Rashid.
I will show you the actual patents that exposes the coronavirus not only having a patent but having multiple patents, and these patents have been filed years ago that got perfected in November of 2019, the month before COVID-19. From what it appears right now, we're the only ones on the entire planet of the 7.7 billion people that really have proof of what is truly happening. I'm not here to convince anybody. I'm not here to put words in your mouth. I'm not here to put thoughts in your head. I'm only here to show you what you can see with your own eyes and then let you decide what truth is.
Something just since the beginning hasn't seemed right with this coronavirus. And I remember my wife telling me there's actually a patent on the coronavirus. And I'm like, that figures because the drug companies, I wouldn't put it past them. But then I looked a little further and there is a patent on it. It's patent US 200-625-7852. A U.S. patent on the coronavirus, and it's called Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome Coronavirus, and that was applied for in 2006 by a company called KINE, and so this company KINE applied for it and was granted this patent on this virus, which was then bought by GlaxoSmithKline, one of the 10 largest pharmaceutical companies in the world who happens to specialize in vaccines. So now I'm looking into maybe there's a coronavirus vaccine. There's a European patent on a coronavirus vaccine. European patent EP 317231-9B1. That was applied for in 2014, and what do you know? It was just granted in November of 2019. What perfect timing! All of a sudden they're going to say, here comes the savior with the vaccine, and they're going to swoop in, and then in order for your kids to be able to go back to school, they're going to have to get this coronavirus vaccine that they just all of a sudden came up with 6 years ago. Menta PM bakla de don lupa ka license nakabenta uniu knyang jingpang ke kumno ka labelong bikila don lupa ya ka license man sna dawai lani ban sna vaccine nakabenta uniu knyang jingpang agni ka video u Dr. Rashid un sapata yengi bagni ka license kadiga ka kerteng jong company ka jongno.
That takes us to the patents. This is all the papers on coronavirus that have been published since 1968. So how is it possible that with all this research done, there could be actually a patent? And that's actually what the previous doctor had talked about, the coronavirus patents. Okay, so here's a patent for severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus, and this is a US patent that he talked about that was then ended up being sold to GlaxoSmithKline. But then there was also a European patent. A European patent, this is what I want you to see. This is very interesting. This patent is owned by a company called the PEIT Institute. This is the European Patent Office, as you can see right there. I'm going to make it even bigger so you guys can see it. European Patent Office. And this is a patent, EP 3172319A1 on coronavirus. Now, what's interesting is that this particular one here, this one, again, by the way, look at the application numbers. These are, if you look at who owns these, they're all, applicants are all this PEIT Institute. I wonder who this PEIT Institute is. Some of you could probably guess, but this is PEIT. Now, so let's look up who PEIT is. So let's go to the PEIT and see. Ah, look at this, PEIT Institute, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Interesting, huh?
You can get a license, pilai, baka haka company, kajong Bill Gates. Ato pimod bo Bill Gates. Udah tahu beliau bapa, punya rapi ke pertai, nak bahaya ni dawai, punya jam luna. Lada pimut kumta, dia ingin pakai pish pangu Bill Gates, pula le iu menchua, hakari jungi. Bill Gates ulah sna HPV vaccine, hakaba kila le ke research jong new vaccine, hakari India jungi. New HPV vaccine kila penan kam apa Andhra Pradesh, berapa Gujarat. Berlai jingpet dia ka, daka ICMR. Indian Council of Medical Research. Lai bisa daw Bill Gates berkemelina foundation benshnayi nu vaccine. Bala supply kini ki vaccine ay India jungi da artli ki company. Haba ka government jukri India kalamud benpersane no yakini ki trial lani benpendan kam yuto vaccine. La lapat beklada dabai lupa yuto vaccine shalai puajar not ki kena ki bal pokerta kendai adukat sausnem. But pun kini kena kila yap nakadaw bikiyo inu vaccine. But Union Minister hagato kupor ulong bagay yap jo kini kena kamli nakadaw bikiyo inu vaccine. Andre kadei pan nakadaw bakimbiang kabam kadi. But kay ka ba pilingo kadei ba kini kena kini ki khana ki bana ki snong nong kendong ki bapher ye kini ki khana la yu tau vaccine bara ka por bi ki ai ki bikin san ki kot kisla pitip ne am bi ki kot kisla ki bakini ki khana ki san ikita ki kot kisla na thaw ka ktien pareng pitrai bi ki khana bu busuk ki khana na ki snong nong kendong ki smo tho bla tho yu kita ki kot kisla te parkhadi ma phi ko padba bo bale ba sarkar dunia kita ki por kamlaban le ye na kamanta ki jingle jung new Bill Gates per ka foundation ka jungu but bale ba menta u prime minister jungi u ya karen badu bodi Bill Gates banai ta ki vaccine agani ka perthai ato ka perthai ka laban samya u Bill Gates ato mangi ban ma phi ngi laban samya u Bill Gates bishari ma phi ko padba smuthu hi ma phi ko padba in wan lam shupi ya ki khubor ki baka media kanum laban pani namar ki por balor kinum shayaka panin karmenru bala dawan u dawai namanta ni ka jingpang u de dawai ban wan ka khti jung ki baba om na ka khti jung ki rius niu in po tang lai tli ki jingli ka banin kong balai ki ri jung ka perthai brokoi ki shani amanta u Bill Gates bul shna yu new vaccine wala da ki latim mo Bill Gates ladip shna ki vaccine menshwa but kita ki vaccine jungu balapan dan kama kari India hakiri Afrika barabun ba ki ri jung ni ka perthai ti balai kini ki vaccine ki jungu ki penyap ya bon ba ki klum ki khna ber ki briwa kini ka perthai but balai ba ki sarkar kim le ye kabar balai mo Bill Gates umaham lupa ya ka perthai makan sadon ka khlam jingpang kumno tip makin saja kita kabalai kumno ka company ka jungu klayo lupa kita ki patents lani kita ki license ban snayu vaccine lada ka wan ta ka khlam jingpang lada fi kwa ban ngin tumit lada fi kwa ban ngit ru kam lilay ka shong api ka jing start jung pi kublay shibun Lano Ngin Kyndit